went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June, 1862 on a summer's afternoon. I took the bus to Burnley and she was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to bleeding.
You're watching TOON Army TV. Welcome to the channel. This is the Newcastle United versus West Ham United match preview for the game kicking off at 12:30 this Saturday afternoon at St James's Park. It's a nice early one for a change. Can the TOON make it back-to-back wins against West Ham United, a very informed West Ham United side who will be no pushovers this weekend? Well, we'll wait and see. Can the TOON replicate what they did in the second half against Burnley? Just before I continue on with the rest of the preview, if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to my channel. It's free of charge. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss a video from yourself. Hit that like button, that's very important. Share the content out with your friends and your family. You never know, they may just enjoy it and I may turn a few heads and that may give me a new subscriber. Down below in the comment section, be sure to let me know your predicted starting 11s for both Newcastle and West Ham if you're a fan of either. And make sure you let me know your score predictions for this weekend. Can the TOON, get that most important 3 points just to be sure of Premier League football next season? And make sure you follow me on social media, TOON Army TV, Instagram and Twitter. Give us a follow and I'll follow you back. So moving on. So Newcastle take on West Ham United. It's going to be a difficult game on Saturday afternoon. Both sides are coming into this match on good form. We've picked up 4 points in our last 2 games. West Ham United, well, they're on fire at this moment in time. They're currently in the top 4. They kind of remind me of the Alan Pardew season, if you remember, in 2011-2012, where we came 5th. Well, they're in a very similar situation where they don't want the season to peter out. They want to keep going, and they're not going to make it easy for us on Saturday. They've got a lot of quality, and it's how we go about the game this weekend. If we show the same performance against Burnley in that second half, then I feel like we've got every chance. So the TOON come off the back of a 2-1 win against Burnley at Turf Moor. In the end, it deserved 3 points. It was a game of 2 halves. The first half, we were abysmal. Burnley were all over us. The minute they took the lead, that gave us that kick up the backside that we needed. We should have been awarded a penalty, which wasn't given. How it wasn't a red card for Tarkowski, I'll never know. But VAR had an absolute meh last weekend. Let's hope it's not as bad this weekend. And second half, well, Steve Bruce made the changes. He brought on ASM and Callum Wilson. And when you bring on ASM, in particular, his quality is the difference in how we go forward. We're a different animal altogether. Without ASM, we are so predictable. We're not a very good side. But when you've got your best players on the pitch, we can be very, very tough to break down. And we are very ruthless on the counter-attack. ASM proved that in the second half. He set up the goal for Jacob Murphy. And then he also scored a goal. The way he just took on that Burnley back line, checked in on his right foot, finished with his left. Absolutely devastating. No chance for Burnley. No chance for Peacock Farrell. And we get that all-important 3 points. As mentioned, could have been 3, could have been 4. Burnley were just lack of ideas at 1-0 up. And we are starting to hit form, fingers crossed, at the right time where we need to be sure of our Premier League status. As mentioned, it's going to be a different game on Saturday. West Ham are not Burnley. And they're up there for a reason because they've been very clinical, under David Moyes. And talking of David Moyes and West Ham, well, what a season they've had. The games that they've been winning, won them because they deserve to win those games. Talking of West Ham, they've had a very good season by their standards. They're going to be trying to finish as high as possible. Will they get the Champions League? I'm not too sure personally. It'll be the Europa League. But even if they get the Europa League or the Conference, then for me, that's a great season for them, regardless. And they can build on that. It just goes to prove if you give the manager time, then they can get their philosophy across, and the players obviously have to buy into it, and they have done. The recruitment has been quite good as well, and you have to credit David Moyes where it's due for the way they've played, and the players obviously have taken ownership of the situation for whatever's been asked of them in that dressing room, and they've gone out there and got the results. And also bringing in the likes of Jesse Lingard in the January on loan has definitely helped their cause in terms of strengthening their chance of playing European football next season. West Ham, they come off the back of a 3-2 win against Leicester City. That's no easy game. At the end of the day, they got the 3 points, and that's all that matters. They're a very ruthless side. West Ham, they like to hit you on the counter attack if you make mistakes, and that's what we're going to have to be wary of, because we've been making too many individual mistakes. It happened to Burnley, it happened against Spurs, and it's happened all season. And West Ham are going to be no different to how they approach this game. So we have to be mentally switched on at the back in terms of how they go forward. They're very good at the back as well, and we have to be clinical in terms of what we do in the final third, because at times we are very, very wasteful, and we could do a lot better in that area. That's something that we have to improve on going into next season, when we hopefully can have and shift in players and bring some new ones in, new ideas, hopefully get rid of Steve Bruce at the same time. It's going to be that type of game. I'm hoping it's a tight one. I'm hoping we're not going to give West Ham too much respect because of where they are in the league. Hopefully we can just look after ourselves. I look at them as a very clinical side. They don't make too many mistakes this season. Well, they haven't done if you look at the stats, and the table obviously suggests that. In terms of their quality, players to watch out for, I would definitely say Lingard. He's got something like 8 goals and 9 appearances. That is great. For a lad who was not really getting the game time at Manchester United, he's went down to West Ham on loan. He scored the goals that have strengthened their position where they are in the league, and he's made West Ham look a better side. And without his goals, you wonder if they would have had enough to be anywhere near the top 4, top 6. The way he's been playing, he will definitely be going to Euros if he continues with that form, because that is worthy of the international scene. And obviously if England want to win the Euros, they have to score goals, and he's a goal scorer. He's on the form of his life, and that stat there I've just told you, 8 goals and 9 appearances. If only we had a player that was that clinical. But we could hopefully have that back now with Callum Wilson. Hopefully now he can get back onto the goal scoring side of things. Another player to watch out for, Thomas Souček, a player who I've been very impressed with. Another player who has come through the transfer policy at West Ham. I mean, they don't spend a lot of money, but he's the type of player who doesn't really shirk away from challenges. He's very good at getting forward. He's good at tracking back. So he can do pretty much everything. He was good at the first part of the season in terms of his goal scoring ratio. That's kind of dipped a little bit because of Lingard, but at the end of the day, he's a clinical player, and there's no doubt he's going to have suitors at the end of the season if West Ham are looking to cash in. But if they get Europe, then he might just stick around for a season or two, but we'll wait and see on that. If there's players to watch out for on the Newcastle side, if you're a West Ham fan watching this, I would definitely say Alan St-Maximin. If you watch the game against Burnley, and he's going to be a real threat to your defence, so if you're not defensively switched on, then no doubt you'll score one, which we need that lad to continue scoring goals in order for us to stay in the Premier League for next season. Callum Wilson's another one, a natural goal scorer. He's got 10 this season. He could have done with more goals for us, but he's had an injury. He's had too many injuries, to be fair to him, but that's not his fault. That's the life of a footballer. We can't just put the burden on him all the time. And, now that he's back, hopefully he can stay injury-free. Banging a couple of goals on Saturday, that'd be great. So my predicted start 11 for the game on Saturday, I'm going to go with the usual 4-2-3-1. You've got your back 4, you've got your 2 sitting in deep, you've got your creative number 10, you've got your wingers, and you've got your forward. I'm happy with that, but I doubt Steve Bruce will go with that on Saturday, but you just never know with Bruce and his tactics. Now in goal, Martin Dubravka. Left back, I'm going to go with Paul Dummett. Right back, I'm going to go with Javier Manquillo. My 2 centre-backs, first up, Federico Fernandez. Alongside him, I'm going to go with Kieran Clark. The 2 CDMs, first up, Jonjo Shelvey. And alongside him, Joe Willock. In the number 10 role, I'm going to go with Mickey Almiron. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Joe Linton. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Alan St-Maximin. And up front, I'm going to go with Callum Wilson. So that is my predicted start 11 for the game on Saturday. I'm sure you might disagree with some of those, but we'll just never know. Nobody knows what Steve Bruce is going to go with in terms of his predicted start 11. It could be literally anything. 1 minute we're talking about Sean Longstaff coming in, next minute it could be Matty. And then we're talking about, Jeff Hendrick will not get a game, then he starts. So no one really knows how Bruce is going to go about it. But just looking at that start 11, Joe Linton, he plays a lot better, on that left-hand side. Jacob Murphy, I'd love to try and, find a spot for him, but he's better is an impact sub coming off the bench. It's the same with Matt Ritchie. It's the same with Sean Longstaff. I feel like they could do a job, in that second half, see where the game's at. But I'm sure you would have your own predicted start 11s. Let me know down below in the comments section. For a score prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Any other time against West Ham at home, I'll go for 3 points. But I understand that they're going for European football. They've had a fantastic season. They're a good side. They play some good stuff. But then I look at our form. We've picked up 4 points in our last 2 games. Things are starting to look up. Fingers crossed. And if we could show the same second half performance against Burnley as mentioned, then we have what it takes to go on and get something against West Ham. I'm under no illusions that if we lose the game, well, we've lost to a good side. But I don't want to think like that. I like to try and be positive where I can. Listen, I'd love to try and get the 3 points. I have to look at it in a realistic way that we could, get something against West Ham if we put our minds to it. So I'm going to stick with a 1-1 draw, but let me know your score predictions down below in the comment section. And that's where I'm going to end my match preview. I will be back on Saturday afternoon around 2-3 o'clock after the game to talk about it. Fingers crossed I'm talking about a positive result. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, put your comments down below as usual, share the content out with your friends and your family, and follow me on social media, TOON Army TV, Instagram and Twitter. Give us a follow and I'll follow you back. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the game on Saturday. Until then, how are the lads?